Hi, my name's Rosanne Medlin. I'm an executive director, and I am going to talk about the teacher challenge that I do every summer with my customer group. It's one of my favorite things that I do with 31, and I've had a lot of questions about the details in the past, so I just decided to do a video this year and put everything in one spot that I can use for team trainings and to share with anybody else that might be interested. So why July? Because historically we've had Ready, Set, Sell. So this is what I started doing as my sort of summer Ready, Set, Sell. I guess 4 or 5 years ago. I think this is my 5th annual. I've been with 31 a little over 4 years. So I started doing this my first year with 31. I'm not even sure if it was July then or not, but the last at least 3 years have been in July, consistent with Ready, Set, Sell, which we don't have anymore. But I still feel like it's an ideal month to do it. First of all, sort of that lull in the summer. Everybody's out of school. It's a fun thing for teachers to do. They have the time because they're not in the middle of a crazy school year. And it's just really fun to reward teachers. And then you can tie it in with the prize that I'll tell you about in a little bit right before back to school. So this is a way I love to give back to teachers. It's a fun group to party with. It always leads to lots of new hostesses and customers going into the fall selling season, which is great. So lots of benefits for making it in July. And so it is the thing that I do every July. And it's cool because once your customers sort of know that's coming, your spots for this challenge fill very quickly. So I call it my teacher Classroom Makeover Challenge. And basically what it is, it's a battle of the hostesses in July, consecutive parties or parties that are all happening at the same time with teachers or people who work in the schools. So I'm not really picky. I just want it to go to basically someone who education is either their profession or they work in a school or they're a homeschool mom. But I've had like speech therapists for schools, principals for schools, anybody participate. So this will help you with personal volume for the second month of K group earning. If you're in your start swell or you're trying to qualify or even for that minimum PV amount for wishes come true. So lots of fun reasons to party in July. So I do give up commission as part of the prize for this teacher challenge. You don't have to. You can use a different prize structure, but I'm going to explain exactly how I do mine. I like it. It's worked for me. It's a tax write-off. It's a way to give back. But you are free to do some other different kind of prize structure, and I'll leave that up to you, but I'm going to tell you what I do. I do have a couple files that go along with these instructions, and I will post those as well. One of them will be a personal message, and I'll talk about that in a second. And the second one is my hostess letter that I use, which are sort of the rules of play for this competition. Okay. So like I said, it's a battle of the hostesses. I'm looking for 5 people that are teachers, homeschool moms, school administrators, or teaching assistants, or therapists, or counselors that work in the schools. And the prize that I give out is $250 gift certificate to spend on their classroom or back to school stuff, or just really anything they want, just as a thank you for being in a really underpaid profession, and one that's tied to our future generation. So I was not called to be a teacher. I'm a physical therapist by profession, but I work much better with adults, and I am so thankful for those people who love on our little ones. So my prize is $250 gift certificate to spend in August when the new catalog comes out. But each of the teacher hostesses will get to use the hostess benefits from their party in July. So basically the winner gets hostess benefits in July and a big fat gift certificate to spend in August. I'm very careful with the wording of my prize. I say up to a $250 gift certificate. And I'll explain that here in a second. I do these in early July. I like to front load July because toward the end of the month, sometimes things can start discontinuing because we're about to switch catalogs. And usually conferences toward the end of July, which it is this year. So I like to be totally done and all of that in the books before I go to conference, so I can just be present at conference. Okay, so the way that I do this, I'm basically looking for 5 hostesses, and you can have more. I think I had 6 last year, but I'm basically looking for 5. First year I did it, I was looking for 3, and I've grown since then. I find the more teachers you have, the more competition there is, and it kind of gets people motivated to play a little harder. So the first thing I do is I ask personally. So number 1, I'm going to give you 6 steps. Okay, so number 1, I ask personally. So I'm reaching out to teachers that I know. I'm reaching out to friends of mine that homeschool, and I say something like, hey, every July I have a teacher competition. You can win up to a $250 gift certificate to spend when the new fall catalog comes out from 31. Would you be interested in learning more? And I just keep it that simple, but I'm asking personally first. Then the second thing I do is I tease in my VIP group. So I have a little graphic. I can post it in the comments here. But basically I'm just saying, tell me if you're a teacher. Tell me if you're a homeschool mom. And so when they comment, then I send them a personal message. And that is one of the files that I will provide as part of this training. And so once they say I'm a 4th grade teacher, then I send them a personal message and I say, hey, thank you for teaching 4th grade. I really love to reward teachers with a special project every July called my Teacher Classroom Makeover Challenge. I give a little blurb about what it is. I try to keep it really simple so I don't overwhelm someone. And then I ask them if they would like to play and tell them that I have only 5 spots. Okay, and so then I fill my spots from there. So number 1 is ask personally. Number 2 is tease on your Facebook group. And by the way, if you have a dead Facebook group and people aren't really commenting or interacting at all, I would prime your group a little bit. Do some posts 1 or 2 times a day for a couple days. Do some engaging posts where you're asking an opinion or something to get that group a little more active, and then do the teacher post just so that you have people see it. And so, go live a couple times. Live always gets more interaction because it's bumped to the top of people's news feed. So if you need to liven your group a little bit and then do the teacher post, you might get a better response from that. So number 1 is ask personally. Number 2 is tease with the graphic in your Facebook group. Number 3 is personal message those who comment on that graphic in your VIP group. Okay, I really recommend following these steps. I've done this for a long time. I feel like I have it down to a really good science. And so follow the steps if you want the best success with this. And again, that's why I'm doing a video, because it's a little bit of a process, but it's really worth it in the end. This is one of my favorite months of the year because I love doing these parties. Number 4 is send an email from your back office. But again, keep it very simple. Ask, say how many spots you have left after you've done your VIP group. Say, hey, I have 2 spots left for this annual event, or a new event that I'm doing this year, whatever pertains to you. Email your back office, but keep it simple. Okay, number 5, once you have your hostesses, you're going to set up individual Facebook events for each hostess. Okay, so you're running this just like an online event, but you're going to set up individual Facebook events, private events for each hostess. Plus, you're going to set up either a group or an event, private or closed, for just those hostesses. Okay, and that is because competition is key to the success of this this teacher challenge thing. Okay. And here's how the prize money works. So you've got these events set up. You're going to send a special hostess letter. I will put that in. That's the second thing I'm going to put in the files. So basically it's the rules of play. It explains the prize money. It explains what the expectations are, how they get how they win, what the time frame is. Because again, these are going to be parties run at the same time. So let's just say, for simplicity's sake, July 1st through the 5th. Okay, so you're going to say the competition will start on July 5th. Your parties will open online. The 1st. Your parties will open at noon on July 1st. They will close at noon on July 5th. The person with the highest party total on July 5th at noon will win the prize. And the prize will be up to $250. Each hostess that has a qualifying party will add $50 to the prize money. So as long as all 5 hostesses have a qualifying party, which is $200 or more, the prize money will be $250. Okay? That way, if one of your parties doesn't make it all, you're not losing money. So the simple math of it is, if you have 5 parties that each only hit $200, and they will be more than that because, again, of the competition and the prize. But if each of those 5 parties only hits $200, the commission on that is $250. That's $1,000 in PV. Commission is $250, and that is the prize money that you're promising. Okay, these parties typically are very high because these teachers are trying to win. So a couple years back, my top 2 parties were $1,600 and $1,400. Sometimes they're in the average of $600-700. So depends on the hostesses. But at the minimum, you're covering that prize money as long as you're saying, you know, each of the 5 parties has to reach 200, or the prize money will be reduced by $50, you know, per teacher who does not hit a qualifying party. And so that does a couple things too. The other thing it does is it lets someone know, you know, if you don't get your party to 200, you're not getting hostess benefits, and you're sort of letting the group down because your prize money is not, that prize money will be less. So, you know, and sometimes that happens when I don't have a qualifying party. If I have 6 or 7 hostesses, because I'm never going to tell someone no if they want to host. So last year I had 6 hostesses. My party, the prize money only stayed at $250. I didn't increase it because I feel like that's enough. That is the same as a $1,200 party. And it just keeps things simple. So I'll take as many hostesses as they come. I usually say I'm only taking 5 because that's my goal. But if an extra person wants in, I'm not going to turn down a hostess. So that is how the prize money sort of comes out in the wash. You cover it. It's a tax write-off. You cover it with the PV and the commission that you're making on those minimum parties, but of course we're shooting for much higher. And so then the rest of that, over the $250, is commission that you keep and you make on having these parties. So, let's see. So that was number 5. So number 5 was setting up the event, sending the hostess packets. I make my hostess packets special for these teachers. I put in a key fob or a nail file. I get cute folders so they look different. If these people have hosted with me before, they know the teacher challenge is special and it's different. I also let them know that these special teachers are going to get my first round of catalogs when I get my fall catalogs because they hosted a July party. I let them know they get full hostess benefits on their parties in July, and then I usually tell them I do something special even for the 2nd through 5th place. I almost always do some other little special, either something for my stash or some other special thing because I appreciate them and I want them to feel special and I want this to be a fun thing for them because I want them to come back and do it again next year too. These are like I said, some of my very favorite things I do in my business. Okay, and so then I told you that you're going to set up that Facebook group or event just for the hostesses. So then every night of the competition, so if we're saying it's July 1st through the 5th, then the night of the 1st, and I always have a preset time. So I say at 10 o'clock every night, I'm going to give the leaderboard. And then I go through and I say, here's our leaderboard for today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I look at the party totals at the PV, and I don't tell them the dollar amounts. I just tell them the teachers' names, 1 through 5, who is first, who is second, who is third, and so on. If people still have zeros at the end of the first day, then I'll say like tied for third, you know, and put the rest of the names or whatever. But I'm not telling them dollar amounts because, again, you want to create a sense of competition. And if they see that they're $500 ahead of somebody in first, you know, that they're first place and they're ahead by a huge amount, they're not going to try as hard as if they think that maybe first and second are really close. So I'm not trying to be deceptive. I'm just trying to keep that spirit of competition out there. And I also don't want anybody to feel bad because they have $0 and someone else has $1,000. So I just give the leaderboard just names every night. Night of the first, night of the second, night of the third, night of the fourth. I usually give a little early leaderboard the last day, and try to really ramp it up that very last day of orders, and then call the winner at the exact time that I promised because I want to keep it fair. I post the same things in all the events all week. This year I've been using live a lot more, but I may make some videos just again to keep it fair and easy because it's work to post 5 or 6 parties. I typically use Tiny Torch for the graphics. And then this year I will probably record some videos because I really like the live aspect. And I may set a time with each hostess to have a live like Q&A or show and tell or something in each of those parties. So I'm going to sort of see what they want. Okay, but you can make it your own. Do what feels good to you. Do what your normal online party thing is. But just I always try to create a really big spirit of fairness so that they feel good in the results. Okay, so it really comes down to which hostess works the hardest, you know, is the winner because it's a big, big prize, but it's a super fun prize. So it's worth the effort. And then number 6 is just rewards. So again, they get their own hostess rewards in July. Then the winner, I always say like you won $250 to spend in August. I need your list by August 10th. And then what I do in August is I have my launch party before the time in which I told her I need her reward. So I have a in-person launch party, I have an online launch party, and then I'll usually have a stop and shop like at a Starbucks, like coffee and catalogs or something like on the go. And I try to do all of that in a really close amount of time to launch fall. And then I get the teacher hostess winners list. And I combine all of that as my fall launch party that I'm entering. If it's a local hostess, I may use that $250 of hostess rewards if I can get my launch party to $1,200. I may use that instead of paying for it out of my pocket, out of my commission. I may use the hostess rewards to get her list of things that she wanted. I may enter her $250 order. Again, it's a tax write-off. It's a marketing expense. I may enter that as part of my launch party. I'm getting commission then back on what I'm entering as her gift. And that may take me up to the $1,200 level for my fall launch, and then I can get the exclusives for the new catalog for free as part of my hostess rewards as the hostess of my own launch party in the fall. So on the back end of it, there's a couple different ways that you can get creative about that. But again, you're still giving back, and you're still and you can still use it. You know, if you pay for any of that on your own, it's a tax write-off. So I'm not a tax expert, consult your CPA, but it is something that, you know, you can itemize. Just check with a professional about that. Okay, so I think I covered everything else that I had on my little notes to make sure I tell you guys. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And I hope y'all have amazing Julys and give it a shot. Bye.